Go. Typically, we'd be playing Arc Raiders right now, but I figured I'd use something a little different this morning. Um, so, your boy, I am still a little sore. Yesterday was a rest day, and I want to play Arc Raiders right now, but I won't have a chance today to work out. So, I need to train. So, I don't want to make this video to show people that it's, you know, playing video games is fun and all. It is super important. Take very good care of your as well. I have my headphones on. I am not sure my headphones. um, I don't know if it's using headphones for audio. No idea. So when someone comes on live, you got to let me know. But yeah, I plan on gooping. Have to work out first day, back day. It's like back and hamstrings, shoulders. Need to open up my lats a little bit. It's not crazy early, right? 6:30. Back when I was working full time as a carpenter, I would used to train at 4:30 in the morning. This is actually pretty easy. And then when I was a coach, train people at 6 a.m. Not that early for me. What's up, guys? So we're not streaming Arc Raiders this morning. We're gonna work out because we don't have time to work out this afternoon. Taking my son to the zoo today. But I do plan on streaming if I get my workout done quick enough. Today is I don't know if you guys can hear me okay. It's it's back, shoulders, and hamstrings. I do almost full body workouts every single day I work out. I work out about 4 days a week. And it's pretty much full body. I just don't I hit every muscle group twice a week. And I hit them pretty aggressively. So yeah. It's like these this is a new movement. You guys probably have never seen a movement like this. This is called a Lou raise, made famous by weightlifting. Um, World champion weightlifter, Olympian. His name is Lu Xiaozhan. Um, he's a specimen. But he did this movement, which is really good for your traps and your medial delts. I use it as a warm up. By all means, like you could use it. It is a strength movement, and you could use it. But I like to use it as a warm up. Self care Saturday or self care Sunday? Well, I don't know. Self care Saturday seems kind of the whole thing. Self care day is kind of seems retarded to me, to be honest. I was like, should you take care of yourself every day? Um, it's the same reason why I never did believed in cheat days. You should be taking care of yourself every day. Cheat days are stupid. I don't know, man. I think self care Saturday sounds better overall, phonetically, I guess. But I think the term in itself is kind of stupid. Self care. Like every time you take a shower, would you consider that self care? I don't know. You just see what I'm saying? Like I get what people mean by it. I mean, like today's about me. It's just weird. Sounds weird to me. So this is a single lat pull down. Um, I do this just to warm up my my whole, my lat, my arms, shoulders. What I really focus on when I do this is a long stretch right here, and then a big pull straight down, and then really slow out the gate here. Not that slow, but and then back up to the top, back down here. So it's more like a stretch than anything. Um, what I've learned after training for about 22 years is length of range of motion is key when it comes to elasticity to muscle. So if you train it full length, you're not, a lot of bodybuilders go out there and say, you want these shorter range of motions for size, and they actually are correct when they say that. But the problem with shorter range of motion exercise is your muscles have a shorter range because of the motion you're doing. So the problem with that is your joints pay the price. So your joints don't are not elastic. Your joints are stationary, and the shorter the range of motion of your muscles, the more your joints have to do, and that's why joint pain is a big thing. So training full range of motion, really stretching it out at the top and bottom end of the movement, and then focusing on the eccentric. Sorry, the eccentric is the not the pull; it's the slowly letting go part. Slowing that down will actually help build muscle size and also still help with that elongation of your muscle. So that's how you minimize joint pain in training. I'm not saying crazy slow too. This is not that slow. This is 1 second down, 2 seconds up. And then really focus on that stretch here in the bottom or at the this would can be considered at the bottom. This would be considered the top, I think. And then just focus on that. I don't really care too much about the reps. I know I'm getting around above 15 reps, and that's good. Like I said, this is more or less just a warm up, and it's just to really get the muscles in that really it's like think about it as stretching. It's basically stretching. It's basically stretching and hypertrophy training at the same time. So you have depression, you're trying to rebuild yourself. Well, first of all, I'm sorry that you had depression. Um, then self care Saturday or Sunday is kind of stupid, if you ask me. It should be every day. Um, I'll give you the one tip, if it's okay, about being depressed, because it's more common than you think. A lot of people don't even realize they're depressed. They don't they put some people just don't know they're depressed. Um, accomplishing tasks are is probably one of the best things you can do as a depressed person. And when I say task, I mean everything you would do normally per day. If you set it up as a task, like, and then in your mind you check it off as a completed task, it kind of gives you this weird dopamine hit and makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. Like For example, today I'm gonna clean the cat litter. Today I'm gonna clean the cat litter. You clean the cat litter, you check it off in your head, and then for someone, at least for me, it's like, oh shit, I accomplished a task. And I, I that was one of the things that really helped me with when I was dealing with depression. I still do. You always will deal with depression if you have it. But just having that check off list every single day, making the bed, brushing my teeth, making coffee, working out, all these things. If you make a list in your head, especially if you have this is good for people with ADHD. This is good for people with depression. If you have depression and ADHD, this is really good for you. You make a checklist in your head and you start checking off. If you physically need to draw it on a whiteboard, do that. You know what I mean? It's like it really helps. It just does because and if you put more things in your list that are quote unquote self care or taking care of yourself, and you're checking these things off, it's just those dopamine hits that you need as a person. Plus, you feel more capable, you feel more competent. You know, it's just I think that's the best way to do it. And another tip with that, don't go off by like what needs to be done when you think of it being done. Start making schedules like this day, I'm going to work out. This day, I'm going to clean the house. This day, I'm going to, like you have to make schedules. We as human beings, we need scheduling. We like things in order. And so the more order you can keep in your life, and then the more you can when you have these order and you have these checklists that you could do, it fulfills you. I know it sounds stupid and it's a menial task, but I promise you, if you do these things like that, it really just, at least for me, it really keeps my ADHD in check, and it makes me feel fulfilled. Where my depression kind of kicks in because my depression would more kind of intertwines with that self worth thing, right? And if you're just sitting there and you're just doing menial things and you're not doing anything quote unquote productive, that you know that wears on you. We're warming up pretty good. It's not that cold in the garage today. It's about 60 degrees in here. So we warm up pretty freaking quick. All right, we got one more set. We do 3 sets of the pull downs and the Lou raises. I think we only did like 12 there. Hey man, that's good. Here's the other tip. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. The simpler you make the task, the more likely you're gonna do it. So I would start off just making the checklist in your head. How about this? Make the checklist in your head every day when I wake up. I make my bed every day, like just the things that you would normally do every single day. You create a checklist out of it, and then you don't even have to write a list, and you're just like, boom, task done. Boom. It's like a video game. What do you think people like video games so much? It's exactly the same thing. If say you just apply that video game setting, the questing setting in into real life. It's the same thing. That's the reason why people like video games. People like feeling doing tasks that makes them feel accomplished. It's that dopamine hit. You gotta remember that's the whole reason why it exists. But yeah, I like the notebook idea, but I would suggest make it even simpler. Just put it in your head. I'm a firm believer is the simpler the task, the more likely you'll do it. There's an acronym. It's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. The simpler you can keep something, the more likely you're going to do it. That's like, you can put that on my gravestone. should really put some more weight on this. My mother-in-law came in town. She brought these Lanny pink slush flavored energy drinks. They're 0 calorie, which is great. 200 milligrams of caffeine, and they taste like shit. They taste too sweet, too sweet. But I'm the type not to waste, so I'm drinking them. I'll drink something if it tastes bad, just not to waste it. If you're curious, this is a pulley system I designed. Did a short about it. I could have done a lot. I could do a full length video about it. It's just some 2x4s coming off the wall. Got these pulleys off Amazon. They're screwed in together with two separate strong bags against the top there. Strong bags is just two 2x4s. So you have a 2x4 on edge, which is standing there, and you have a flat 2x4 on top, and you screw them together. What that causes is a very rigid board. Like you can't bend that board because the board on edge. We use that in framing. We use that to hold roofs up, especially when you're doing remodeling. And let's say, for example, you're going to take off the joist, but you're going to keep the rafters. I mean, taking off the rafters, but you're going to like work on the joist, or maybe you're taking off supporting walls, and you just need to hold the wall up. You put those up to keep everything together. We're gonna ditch the hoodie. It's hot. All right, so what's up, Cosmic? Muscle Goop, yeah, brother. Yeah, I'm trying to goop, but I don't have time to work out later today. Taking the little boy to the zoo. So I might as well work out now. So I figured I'd go. I typically go live in the morning, so might as well do it while I work out, eh? So I'm still warming up. This is still considered a warm up for me. Getting the Lou raises, really getting all the way up there. You don't have to slow roll it all the way down like that, but you can just control descent. It's really good for the shoulders, traps. And there's a scale that I use, not everyone uses the scale. It's called the RPE scale, called the rate of perceived exertion. So you always want to drop off like a 9 on the RPE scale, which is basically means you could maybe do one more. That's that scale. That's where a game. It's right there. This is the corner. This is the gym. So we got quite a bit of stuff. We got Echo Bike, bench, then Order Track dumbbells, which is awesome. We got dumbbells there from 75. We got hundreds in the bottom. I haven't used the hundreds in a while. Actually, I used them the other day and they were really heavy. Squat rack, barbells against the wall, salt runner, rower, like pulley, pull up. This is all you really need. You don't really need all this equipment. I bought them all during COVID. Also, like we got kettlebells down there. Bought them all during COVID. Um, Fun fact about me: I'm a coach for. I was a coach for 15 years. And I was a CrossFit coach for the last 6 years. Actually, no, I was a CrossFit coach when I met my wife, dude. I've been a CrossFit coach for 10 years. Holy shit. More than 10. Yeah, about 10 years almost. That was wild. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we warmed up our shoulders, our back is warmed up. So we're going to do pull ups, and we're going to do shoulder press. And I think we'll start off with the pull ups. And then what we're going to do after maybe two sets of that, actually, no, I'll wait till the pull ups ending. I get my biggest problem when doing back is I get fatigued too quickly in my forearms. So we'll wait to do the RDLs after, but we'll start off with some pull ups and then shoulder press. Hopefully, this is a good angle. Ooh, got to do chest to bar. If it's not chest to bar, don't count. It's the no rep. If you're doing pull ups, you're just going to your chin. Even if you're doing lat pull downs, got to hit the chest. But make sure your back stays tight. You don't want to be rolled forward, then hitting the chest. Just causes some weird issues in the shoulder and the wrist. So chest back, get that bar to the chest. And it's the same reason what I was saying earlier. That full range of motion. You always want that. It's like key. You don't want joint pain. I would do shoulder press. It's pretty much the same thing that we were doing before. Quicken way up, 1 second up, 2 seconds down. But the thing I do a little bit different on shoulder press is probably the angle. Hold the bar or hold the dumbbell. That's a bad angle. So when I do it, I bring it down to here, like that. I don't do the Arnold press like this, but like down to here. Because I feel a lot of tension down here on my shoulders. So I want that tension to grow. That's just a quick press up, slow on the way down, all the way down to where the tension is. But we don't hold it there. We just get to the tension, press. The only reason I'm turning the dumbbells too is so I can get them lower. And honestly, the full extension at the top is kind of irrelevant when it comes to shoulders because the press up here and same for the bench press is all tricep. So technically, you only need to go here, right there. You don't need to get that last extension right there. Don't really need it because it's tricep. Same thing with bench press. It's pretty much tricep. No wonder these weights are off. And then we just go back to pull-ups. This is a decent angle for all of it. Like that. Yeah, so I'll do this for another. I do 3 to 4 sets, depending on how I feel. Always training to RPE 9, rated perceived exertion. Weight is always irrelevant to me. Um, it's always irrelevant to me. It's all about how my muscles feel and my strength is, because strength varies from day to day. So I just go for a feel. I do have a minimum rep range. My minimum rep range is 8. So if I can't do something for at least 8, then I know it's too heavy. And right, like I said, it's a scale that moves back and forth from day to day. So if it's one day it might be 10, the next day it might be 12, one day it might be just 8. So I don't really like to do logbooks. I always thought logbooks were kind of stupid, especially if you're doing weightlifting, like competitive, like even like even for people that are powerlifters, I think it's irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like it's good like to know where you're at, but I just don't understand it so much because the way the human body is, and the unless you're a purely pro athlete, it makes sense. But most people aren't pro athletes. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's a psychological thing. People just need that feel like they're in control. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Getting hard. Anywho, I was saying earlier in your stream, I used to do this at 4:30 in the morning before I went to work when I was a full time carpenter. If I could get clean and safe vitamins, I would for sure. Solid for men's. I don't really know enough about the vitamin industry to have a solid opinion on it. I can tell you what I take when it comes to manufacturers. You know, unfortunately, there's no independent, or I know of, an independent company that tests these things. I do know how vitamins classify as supplements in a lot of ways, so they can skirt any type of regulations on them. So, for me, I just find reputable brands where vitamins are a weird thing too. Is like, are you like, unless you're getting a blood test done, it's really hard to tell what you're deficient on. Uh, so yeah, I just find I use brands that are, from what I can tell from the what I can find on the internet about their reputation, and then I always shop for price. And I take magnesium, I take creatine, magnesium, vitamin K, vitamin D, D3, fish oils, and then I also supplement potassium because I don't really like eating bananas. And if you train like I do, you're gonna crap a lot. It's very important to make sure your potassium stay high, eat a lot of salt, drink a lot of water, eat a lot of salt. Again, remember, flowing the way down, this is where you want to stop. You don't need to do a long pause. You go up, we're there, flowing the way down, we're there. And remember, walking out at the top is not that relevant. In my opinion, not locking out will help grow your shoulders a little bit more. It just keeps that tension on your delts a lot better. All right, so I think we're gonna do one more set of pronated pull-ups. Pronate is just think about pronate is just palms away from you or facing you. Supinate is palms facing you. We always tell people it's like you're carrying a bowl of soup. Supinated. So we're gonna go one more set pronated pull-ups, full chest of bars. Then we're gonna go supinated pull-ups. Um, Maybe we'll do two more sets. We'll see how this one goes because 10 was pretty tough here. I think it was 9 or 10. I lost count. Yeah, it's getting really tough. So we might just switch to a pronated pull-up, maybe. I mean, supinated pull-up. We still got quite a bit more chest though. I mean, shoulders though. Quite a bit more. Hey, catch up. Oh, Jesus. Trump forever. I'm not gonna lie, man. You know, I didn't vote this past year. Honestly, I think it's all bullshit. In my honest opinion, it's all bullshit. And I like to worry about things I can control. You know, I think that's like one key factor to finding peace. First of all, peace is a scale. I mean, peace is a scale. You know, you're either in it or not in it. And it's finding peace is about trying to stay in it as long as you can. Um, and in my journey to finding peace, man, that's all bullshit, dude. Worry about what you can control. That's it. Worry about yourself, your immediate family, your small circle, or your big circle, whatever it is. And then maybe your community. Fuck, I don't give a fuck what's happening in Minnesota. I don't give a fuck what's happening in Belize. That's God's problem, you know what I mean? I don't have the a capacity to worry about everything. You feel me? And that's what peace is. It's about understanding your capacity and directing it in the most constructive way possible for your immediate future and your longevity, i.e., sleeping well, working out, eating well. You know, those things will actually impact your life in the immediate and in the long term. So fuck what's going on everywhere else. Focus on you, like the homie. His name. What was that guy's name? Renter 12. You're still here. Anywho, you keep it up. You a one arm. I can do one arm right now. Not maybe with my right for sure. But who cares about one arm? Like, what is it? Is it a dick size contest? Who cares? That's irrelevant to me. Just use the VPN. They're gonna ban those. What about the kids, dude? 400,000. Oh, 1 million kids die from um diarrhea every year. I think this might be a little bit less now. But let's say 500,000 kids die from diarrhea every single year. What about them? What about them? You know what I mean? Like everyone's so worried about kids everywhere in specific key areas, but there's kids suffering everywhere. You got the cobalt mine kids in Africa. You got the ones dying from diarrhea. You got the ones dying from malaria. You got the ones dying from polio. You got all these fucking kids dying. Where the fuck where do people care about them? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like I just choose to be indifferent about it all because I know I'm not capable of helping everyone. So and that's my way to obtain peace. would you want to call it moral, or morality? If we took it into a religious term, like what was it? What does Christian call it? They call it eternal morality or some shit like that. Yeah, if you looked at it in those terms, then you could argue that it is immoral to think this way. But you know, I'm not. I'm, I'm the closest thing you can find to a Christian that doesn't believe in God. Let's just say that. No, man, you just fucking do pull-ups, dude. You gotta stay. I'm very positive, dude. My son's gonna have my sons and my nephews and nieces are gonna have the best fucking chance because of me. Oh well, I'm that's it. That's the future to me. Them and my nephews, nieces, nephews, my son. Every other else kids, that's their problem. You know what I mean? If they come in my orbit and somehow they come into my circles, I've helped a lot of kids. I used to work with kids that what would you call that? They're not jail. What do you call when kids go to jail? Why can I not think about it? Yeah. Juvenile delinquents. And a lot of them turned their life. Man, this one kid, Brandon, man, he was a bad motherfucker, man. Kid. And he just came from a broken home and he came to the gym. Um, you know, and I just, whispered in his ears, I just, told him like, try to guide him and stuff like that. And next thing I know, this motherfucker's a heavy weapons crane operator. He's happily married now. Fuck, it makes me feel old. I think he's married. Maybe I can't remember. I think he's married. All I know, he's doing very well, and he's his problem was he was very abusive towards his mom, and it's because he came from a broken home, and his mom kept him away from his dad, and the problem is when you keep one person away from the other, then they're like, oh, the grass is greener on that side. So that was kind of what he was going through, and then so he lashed out at his mom because of that. Long story short, he was in and out of juvenile hall, and then he I met him, and started being like his big brother and all that stuff, and now yeah, he's doing real good in life. He's doing real good. Yeah, hopefully I haven't heard of him in 4 years, but last time I heard, he's doing very very well. So I do care, but you have to be in my orbit. You have to be. Everything else is for the birds, man. I don't have the capacity to take care of everyone, and I think that's the big thing too, is realizing your capacity. I think that's why all I know is I like to think that I'm at peace now in my life at 30, hold on, 38, almost 40 years old. I'm happy. As for pull-ups, dude, the best way to get at pull-ups is lat pull downs, and just get that bar as heavy as you can, and then you can go. The only reason I don't do lat pull downs here is I put a lot of weight on that thing, and I don't have like a secure way to lock my legs. So I just do weighted pull ups or pull ups. Excuse me. I'm gonna do some pull up. I don't do I haven't done weighted pull ups in a while because I haven't had the strength for it lately. Because I kind of took a year of just chill. Now we're back in a year of a grind to like build up strength and size back up. It's just when you get old, you've been training since I've been training since I was 16 and over 20 years now. So your joints really get beat up. So you just can't go ham like all the time anymore. All right, that's it for pronated pull-ups. Did take a long break. That felt good. Also, let's talk about breaks. I would say you can break as long as your body doesn't get cold, meaning like start to you stop perspiring, your your breath is super duper calm, um, then you can take as long as a break as you want. The longer, actually, the better, especially for like strength and hypertrophy, because it's not necessarily about. It's all about during that time where you're pumping your muscle up, how how long that duration is and how intense it is. And the fact of the matter is, longer breaks will allow that. I would say minimum 90 seconds to anywhere to 5 minutes is probably where you want to be, in my opinion. Again, there's a lot of opinions in bodybuilding, so you gotta take everything. You gotta. My always thing is take a methodology, apply it, and if it works for you, then do it. If it doesn't, look for something better, and then maybe you might have to create your own hybrid, which is kind of what I did. Just take what works and then apply it to myself. And if it works for me, it's more than likely will work for most people. That's why the RPE scale is so important, in my opinion. Oh man, we took a long break. This is feeling light. Oh, don't take too long. 30 seconds to a minute. That's fine. Like I said, that could work. Um, but in my opinion, remember, in my opinion, and from my experience, which is over 20 years, 90 seconds is like the key. 90 seconds will get you probably an extra 4 or 5 reps. Easy. Easy 90 seconds will get, if we're talking about 90 versus 30, for sure. Maybe 90 for a minute, maybe one or two. But definitely, if you ask me, I'll go for that. And you come from a guy that does CrossFit. I used to be a coach, 10 years I was a CrossFit coach. So there was no resting there. So there's an application for everything. But if you're talking about strength and hypertrophy, I'll have to say minimum 90-second break from each muscle group. You can superset, but the problem with supersetting is breath and also grip strength. That becomes a huge factor. So pressing overhead and pull-ups are a good superset for me because you you're not really using too much of the same muscle group. When you're pressing, you're using shoulders, triceps. You do use quite a bit of triceps in the pull-ups, but not to the point that it would fatigue you in your shoulder press. Because remember, the pressing at the top end of the shoulder press is where most of the tricep comes in action, and kind of right here. But that's a lot of shoulder too, so you can get away with that a lot. Pull-ups, pull-ups, and any type of pressing movement are always a good combination. So we got one more set of pull-ups, but we're gonna turn straight into dumbbell rows now. We got some 75s over here. I ordered some lights on Amazon because the gym is pretty dark. We are taking our sweet ass time. What's up, Trenter? Let me see those biceps. You can see them plenty while working out. And I know flex. I'm not your hoe. I ain't gonna flex for you on camera. So we're gonna do some rows. Then we're gonna do some more shoulder press. I just do bent over rows. It's nothing crazy. One thing I do, a good tip is I do my least dominant hand first. So I always do my left hand first. I always feel like I can get 2 more reps if I do it first because what happens is I'll get 10 on my right and I'll fight for 8 or 9 with my left. But for whatever reason, start off with my least dominant hand, I can get that to 10. And then you typically don't have a problem getting my right to 10 because it's strong arm. Yeah, we're doing 75. We do 90s. We'll just go straight to 75. Our body's pretty warmed up from the pull-ups. Up there, pretty easy. Rows, slowish on the way down, aggressive on the way up is the way I like to go. Always keep that upper back really tight. I don't believe in the whole dump into shoulder thing, um, because when you think about back strength and the applications like deadlift, Olympic movements, your upper back needs to be tight and very strong. And the whole leaning like that, I guess it might make sense for like aesthetic purposes, but overall strength and like strength throughout life and through movements, I think keeping an upper back is more beneficial. You could do both, but you know, I don't want to waste the time and energy, right? You might stay with 75 this morning. It was kind of heavy, the last set. Uh, there you go, man. 50 to 65, then. Ooh, pike handstand push ups. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I don't really do. I do handstand push ups against the wall. Actually, if you saw my last short, I actually do them at the park when my son's playing. But yeah, that's not bad, man. Overhead press 60, 65. Yeah. Um, good, man. All right, so I think we're gonna do one more set of presses. Then we got the dumbbell rows, and then we're gonna do some accessory shoulders. So we're probably gonna do. I forgot the name of them, but if you guys remember, fitness guy, his name was Greg Plitt. He's the one that died by. He was trying to outrun the train. He fucking died. One of the stupidest fucking ways to die. Even though it was stupid, he was pretty. I thought he was kind of cool guy. He had some cool exercises that I ended up liking, and I still use today. So you know, he lives on through me talking about him and me doing his exercises. But it's a really good way to build up that front delt. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna finish up with rear delt and single leg bento. No, single leg Romanian deadlifts. If you're curious, this is just 30 pounds on the dumbbells. Like I said, it's 60 pounds total, but it's all about that rated perceived exertion, not necessarily about the weight. You got to get numbers out of the way. It's all about how your muscles feel when you do the movement is key. Weight is ego. Ego gets you hurt. Let's just say that. Trying to be the strongest will get you hurt the fastest. Ego is a good motivator for the gym, right? But unfortunately, it won't. It's not good for longevity. A very shallow foundation to build something on. Why I hate bodybuilding contests is because you'll see, like, I've known hundreds of people that get in shape, in very good shape, to do their first bodybuilding show. Guess what happens after? They get into back in their old shape, fat and weak, or a lot of times even worse than they were prior. Um, and it's because that goal, in my opinion, is very shallow. It's a shallow goal. Because once you get there, that you get there, you get to the Mecca, and then you're like, "Well, this was hard. I look great, but it's probably not worth the effort." And then people just wane off. And here's the thing about quick weight loss. Quick weight loss usually means even quicker gain back, in body fat. Yeah. I think we'll try the 90s, and I don't know, man. I don't think I'll be able to hit more than 10. So I think we might just stick with a 75. We'll do one more set with the 75 and then go from there. Yep, we'll stick with 75. That was kind of hard. Yeah. Yo, God bless. Muscle memory. Yeah, fun thing about muscle memory. Science behind it's pretty interesting. Um, Basically, when you have a lot of muscle, your body remembers or makes these cells that remember how much muscle you had. So that when you lose it, it doesn't really memorize. It's more about like I think from what I remember, it's like, think about it this way: if your muscles are like workers, your body creates managers. But when you lose your muscle, i.e., your workers, the managers stay. So that's why muscle memory is a thing. Um, and I think it's fucking interesting as hell. That's why it was easier if you had size to gain it back pretty quick. Unfortunately, the same is for body fat. Um, so once you create, I don't, can you do you create more fat cells? I believe you do create more. I forgot the exact science behind it, but I think to don't quote me, as I would say you do your own research. Your body does create more cells. I think that they make more cells, or the cells split. I can't remember. I don't know. All I know is obesity is bad. I'm pro Ozempic, pro tirzepatide, because even though they have side effects, obesity has worse side effects, way worse side effects. We're talking about increase in heart disease by like, I think it's like 150%. Likelihood of cancer goes up. Obviously, all longevity, all diabetes, all Alzheimer's, dementia goes up. Everything goes up. All the bad shit that you don't want goes up from being obese. And the worst obese people are, and I think the secretively obese people are men with skinny arms and pot bellies. Those are the ones that are key indicators physically for type 2 diabetes. All right, so I've actually never tried these sitting down. They'll go kind of light. So these ones, this is Greg Plitt's move. What you do is you upper back nice and flat and palms up to the ceiling. You're gonna bring your arm up to here and then back down. Oh, and it already burns at 10 pounds. I want to try to go release All right, we're actually throwing it kind of in front of us. Just a good finisher for the delts. I like him. I like him a lot. All right, we're gonna do one or two more sets with the rows, and then we're gonna do rows. We got the RDLs, and then we're actually got to finish off with biceps. I forgot to say that. I don't like to do biceps near any type of pulling motion because you know your arm, your biceps get worked, and um, wicked, wickednessly good, man. I'm trying to, man. Brawly is my favorite fucking Dragon Ball Z character, dude. Fuck looking average. That's what I always say. Fuck looking average. And there's nothing better. So there's the three reasons why I work out. And this is the reason why I work out consistently for the last over 22 years. I like feeling strong. I like looking strong. And the third one I would say is hard because it's hard to say that you enjoy the process. I find pushing my body to the limit fulfilling. That's the reason why. Those are the top three reasons why I work out. There's nothing better than feeling and looking strong. Obviously, that's a little bit ego, is looking strong. Definitely a little bit of ego, but my foundation is I like feeling strong. So that's what I was talking about earlier. And it comes is I love the process of it. It's like very fulfilling to me. It's a good task to get completed. You feel very accomplished, and it like bleeds into the rest of your day, your week, your year. I promise you guys, there's nothing better than feeling physically capable, feeling strong. It's a good feeling. You know what the number one key to longevity is for the elderly is leg strength. So that's the number one key factor from what I've read, shows how long a person is going to live is how strong their legs are. If you have strong legs now in your younger years, and you maintain that to your older years, dude, you're gonna be a fucking beast. Plus, when I pick up my son from school, it's purely ego. I don't want to be a dad bod. I don't want to be no bitch, man. Fuck that, man. I'm not. I refuse. And also, another big thing is your children become your average. They become your average. So if you're a do nothing bitch, you know, the likelihood your kids following you is the same. So you got to set the example, I think, My parents weren't fitness addicts or anything like that, but they worked hard. I mean, like 2, 3 jobs. So I took that tenacity they had for work and I applied it into other fields, including work. Well, fortunately, I don't have to work anymore. Bless. Well, I do work. A lie. I work for myself, which gives me a lot of free time. Free time that I use to prioritize my son, my fitness, and playing video games. Okay, I think we could go a little bit heavier. We'll just go less reps. I mean, more reps. From what I read, you can go up to 30 reps. But that seems like a lot of extra reps, needed reps. I don't like to do more than 20. I think this is like 14. The way I look at it is like the more reps you do, the more wear and tear you do in your body. Even though if you go heavier, is that more wear and tear on your body the heavier you go than if it were to if you go, I don't know, who knows? I'm sure somebody knows out there. I'm sure there's a meta analysis for it somewhere. Anywho, we're almost done. Um, we're gonna do one more set of rows and then RDLs. Try to get this done quick, so on. Maybe we can get some gooping in. I don't know where I put my. Be right back. Be right back, chat. All right. So, like, he might be waking up. I'm pretty excited to take him to the zoo today. Pretty sure he's not gonna fucking care. He's probably gonna be annoyed the whole goddamn time. He's that age. When you take your kid out when they're this 2 and a quarter, it's very selfish, in your sense, because you do it because you want to see their interaction, even though they're fucking gonna hate it. He'd much rather just fucking play in the sandbox, I guarantee. But I just want to see how he interacts when he sees the animals. He's probably not gonna care. All right, we're almost there. Almost there. All right, we got one more here. Then we go to RDLs, and then we got curls. And then once we're finished with the RDLs, we're gonna finish up curls, and then actually we gotta do rear fly. We got so much shit to do. Then, my God, the last 3 reps just burn. Okay, dokie. I figure a good spot. I'll be right here. All right. So I typically you would use weightlifting shoes to do my Romanian deadlifts, but I just made these little wedges so I can put my feet underneath them. You don't have to wear weightlifting shoes. I can wear my house slippers, which are very warm, very uncomfortable. Maybe I'll just put the camera here. Be a better angle. I should really use my 360 camera. I'll use it tomorrow. If I ever do this again, I'll use it then. Simple. I just use um, just 50 pounds. Don't need a lot of weight. It's just slow on the way down. I prefer these over barbell regular deadlifts. It's just easier. It's not necessarily easier to do, but the faster to do. That up and then work out isometrically, meaning if you have a dominant side, the dominant side doesn't take most of the load. Plus, this is good for like overall core stability. Ooh, tough, man. Oh, Lord. My son is stirring, so we won't be able to goop this morning, unfortunately. But at least we got to work out in. Maybe goop tonight. Maybe. Push ups and pike push ups. Google it. Push ups, pike push ups are the best. If you have weights, obviously, light incline bench press and then shoulder press. 5'11", 225. You must eat a lot of fat. That's a lot of that's a lot of weight for a 5'11". Vegan that's 5'11". Appreciate it. Thank you, K Rock. Um, honestly, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how strict your vegan diet is, man. Like, I don't know what you're eating. You know, when someone says vegan to me, I just think about someone who eats a lot of carbs with fat. You know, that's it. I know you can supplement your proteins from that, but protein's a hard thing to get vegan. Like difficult. You know, it's hard to get the protein without eating a lot of carbs. Vegan, in my opinion, doesn't mean healthy. It's just like it's like a religion to me. Like different modalities of eating. Okay, cool. Good for you, man. 5'11", 225 vegan. That's pretty it's hard for me to believe. No offense. Dude, that's pretty fucking huge. I would assume you'd have a belly being 5'11", 225 and not ripped and jacked because it's pretty difficult to do that being a vegan unless you're not really a vegan. You got to understand my skepticism. I know a lot of vegans, and real vegans are not like that. I'm just saying. You know, I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. I would no, you'd probably beat me. I'm like the weakest person in arm wrestling by far. Honestly, I will be the first one to say that a lot of my muscles just show. I know people smaller than me that are way stronger than me, way stronger than me. And is waking up, so we're gonna have to kind of rush through this workout. A lot of people I know are smaller, strong. I know one person. He's 100. His competition weight's 135 pounds. He can squat more than me. My weight right now at 5'6", I'm a small man. Is 100. I just weighed myself 164 pounds. So even I'm actually technically obese for my height. Damn, I started with the wrong leg. A buff vegan, ripped vegan for sure. Skinny ripped. I'm not hating. Like again, I've never seen a buff ripped vegan. I don't think you said buff though. So you did say ripped. And you might be lying. You might be telling the truth. But being 225 and ripped, I know people that are 6 foot 220 not ripped. You know what I'm saying? And they have a lot of muscle. A lot of them fucking squat over 500 pounds. Is you gotta understand my reluctance to believe what you're saying. It's not being an asshole. It's just from my experience. That's not a thing. You have to be jacked. If you're 5'11" and you're jacked and you're ripped, 5'11", you're fucking stacked. 225. I mean stacked. I mean like going to a bodybuilding show stacked. That's how big you are. I mean like we're talking about big old chest, big back, huge. It's just that's just rare for a vegan, unless you're some like outlier. But then again, why would someone lie about something like that? Ego? Ego's a deadly sin, so be careful. Um, what do we got? We got arms. We got two more sets of that. And then we got our rear delt flies. Sometimes I use the pulley, but I'm going to use dumbbells just because it's. We'll use the pulley. We'll do the pulley today. You know, a cheat code to looking jacked easy is being short. Short people just look jacked, more jacked quicker than tall people. It's just harder for taller people to to gain the size. It's cooler. I won't lie. It's a lot. I'm amazed when I see someone over 6 foot that's fucking ripped and jacked. And I look at it as a sense like, man, that's a lot of hard work, man. It's hard. It's easier for taller people to stay lean though. From my experience, a boy named my best friend Nate. I wouldn't call him my best friend. I don't really have any best friends. I think the term is not a stupid term if you ask me, but I only say that because I've known him since we were in 5th grade. He's 6'1", just been jacked his entire life. Fucking black guy. Fucking black people are specimens, man. Huge. It's been big. He's always been jacked. Um, but yeah, he is two, I think he's around 230 right now, 235. I was chatting with him the other day. And he's lean. He's fucking ripped. He's fucking a big person. That's why it's hard for me to believe that. Like 225, 5'11, like hard. It's hard. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Listen, dude, there's so much eating, dude. That's the one thing I hate about putting on size. Like right what I'm doing right now is trying to, since I'm training harder, I'm eating more. Eating's the hardest part, man. Um, there's if you read the study, and don't quote me on this, but there's a study called the Adopted Twins at Birth study, which is a very interesting read. And I just read what do you call that? It was part of the meta analyses, but it was the I forgot what they call it. There's a term for it. Towards the end, basically, they take all their what they found and then they put it in consumable size. And they found that like
they're not a particular gene, but there are genes that indicate two things: high food drive or low food drive, and conscientiousness, low or high. And obese people tend to have high food drive, low conscientiousness. That's a genetic trait, and it's not because if you have it, you're gonna set in stone. It just means you're more predisposed to eating more and not caring more about the future, i.e., your health. But the only reason I bring that up to say is generally have a low food drive, generally, and I would say my conscientiousness is probably in the middle ground. I wouldn't say I'm a high conscientious person because I do like to drink, and I do some careless stuff. I like to ride my e-bikes, my dirt bikes. So I wouldn't consider myself super conscientious in a lot of ways. So I would say I'm probably in the middle of the pack, but definitely low food drive. So I have to force myself to eat. I typically will intermittent fast, um, anywhere between 16 to 22 hours a day. I can't do that anymore. I prefer to do that because I don't like to eat, but now I have to eat basically 4 or 5 meals a day, and I'll eat 4 or 5 meals because I just can't get enough in one sitting. It's tough, man. It's tough, dude. It's tough. I did eat a fucking big old steak last night. Should have pushed me over. That's why I'm probably feeling pretty energized today. But yeah, eating is tough. Not for everyone. Some people have the high food drive and it's not as hard for them. It's just eating, dude. When you get like, you're trying to gain size, like you spend more time eating than you do working out for reals. Ooh. Hey, Trent. I'm just call you Trent, dude. Trent R2. Um, Good luck on doing those tasks, man. I promise you, man. You set up tasks for yourself. You feel more accomplished. You feel more self worth, and help you get through the day. Eating, Waylon, is tough, man. That's the hard part. Not for everyone. I know, like I said, I know a lot of people that's not a problem for. They can just eat. They can put down food. I mean, like a lot too. When there's two factors. Someone else competing in CrossFit. I almost made it to the games as a team, but we were just lacking in a female. Me and the owner head coach of the gym was part of. We were on the team together. Um, he ended up going individual that year, so he made it. I wasn't. I did score in that year. Scored in the top. I think it was the top 50 in NorCal. Overall, I was like in the, I think, 300s. There was some heavy workouts there where I just really gymnastics was always a strong suit for me. Cardio based workouts were always strong for me. But when it came to something heavy that was shy off a back squat or a deadlift, I was not your man for it. But gymnastics is good. I could do like, at that time, I could do like about 24 unbroken muscle ups. I was easy kipping. If we're doing kipping or butterfly pull ups, I could do 50, no problem. I was really good at that stuff. and like burpees, cardio based stuff. I was really good at. What was I talking about? I already forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah. So the key factors that I've known from like the top CrossFit people, like the best CrossFit athletes, two things I quickly noticed. They all had good appetites, meaning they all like to eat, and they could sleep very well. I mean, like sleep. I mean, these people could take a nap in the gym. Like I didn't like. I was like, there's something to this. These people, they don't move around a lot when they're not working out, so they're very, not go getters. They're not like, you know, I wouldn't call them lazy or sloths, but there's just some people just like they need to get up and go do something. They're not like that. They're just like they're chill. They lay back, they'll fall asleep. Like I was like, oh, it's all recovery. Like that's why they're the best because they can recover very well. They eat well and they sleep well. So yeah, it's super important when it comes to training. Like workout is like the least important thing, in my opinion, if you compare sleeping, resting, and eating. Those are big things when it comes to getting and stuff. We gotta speed this thing up. I gotta get this boy out of bed. He's like, Papa, the fuck? Gotta get me. He's gonna understand. You gotta do it for the gains. We're gonna have to skip flies. A lot of times, I'll skip a workout if I don't have time, and I'll just do it later. Doesn't matter. Like I'll just come back. Like my that's what the beautiful thing about having your gym in your garage is you could just do it later. Um, so I'll come out, take out the trash, do the sets I was missing. Yeah, I have to do maybe one or two extra to warm up a little bit, but if I can't do it now, I'll just do it later. This is that wedge I was telling you guys about. I think about I'm gonna sell this on my Etsy. I do sell some workout stuff on there, but I just like it because I don't like wearing weightlifting shoes. And when you step on a plate, you get that dead zone in the plate. I kind of like when you're doing any type of deadlift or squatting motion. Imagine this is the floor and this is my hand, my other hand is my foot. You want to kind of grip the ground. You want to kind of try to squeeze the ground like a bird's on a branch. You ever see a bird on a branch? It's like gripping the branch. You want to grip the ground. It's just hard to do that in weightlifting shoes. It's easier to do it barefoot or slides. Um, and then when you have the lip from a weight, if you're standing on a weight, it's hard to do it there. So I just made this wedge. It's easy. It's easier, simpler. I was saying earlier, man, the simpler you keep something, the more likely you're gonna do it. The acronym is KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Should live by that shit. So typically I work out in the afternoon when he naps. But if you guys kind of like this kind of content and you guys are learning something, I might be able to do this more often. Maybe not in the morning so much, definitely in the afternoon. It just takes so long for me to warm up in the morning. One more tip before we go. Probably the most important thing I could tell you today. If you're doing any type of hip hinging, hip hinging is what I was just doing, deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts. Um, Technically, you could say squatting or reverse lunges is hip hinging, or lunges in general is hip hinging. Squatting, if you're doing any type of hip hinging movement, it is key. Everyone says brace your core, brace your core. It is key to keep your upper back as tight as possible. And this is something you could do wherever you are right now. If you can stand up, is relax your back and reach down and then touch your toes. Pretty easy to touch your toes. It's going to be super easy to touch your toes. So just relax. Take even roll your shoulders forward, reach down, touch your toes without bending your knees. Sorry, without bending your knees. Reach down, touch your toes. It's going to be super easy. Now, without bending your knees, you squeeze your back nice and tight, like that, and keep that tightness and reach down, touch your toes. It's going to be really difficult, and that's good because that keeps your lower back from rounding. And that's where people get in trouble is they give up that lower. If you give up your upper back, you say goodbye to your lower back. I don't care how strong your core is. I don't care how strong your lower back is. You're going to lose it eventually. Um, so the stronger your upper back is, the less likely you are to have any lower back pain. And actually, the stronger your upper and your lower back is, it also the better your posterior chain is. Posterior chain just means everything you don't see in the mirror. So everything you don't see in the mirror gets stronger by doing those things. Um, and you just apply it to every other movement. Even the bench press, you apply it to the bench press, overhead press, you apply it to pull-ups. Super important for people to keep their back tight on a pull-up. The moment you relax your back, you got to remember your shoulder is just hanging there. So if you're not supporting it by keeping it in a good position, um, the likelihood of shoulder injury goes up. Like for sure, without a doubt. So yeah, try that thing. Remember, round your shoulders without bending your knees, touch your toes. Super easy. Now pull your back tight, real tight, not shrugging like this. You don't want to shrug. Pull it back tight, squeeze it. Without bending your knees, reach down to the ground. It's going to be very difficult. You're gonna feel your whole posterior chain, meaning your back, your butt, your hamstrings are all going to activate very well. And that's the best way to pick up or to do any hip hinging movement is to do it like that. And you do apply, like I said, you apply it to a back squat, you apply it to bent over rows, you apply it to you even apply it to standing bicep curls and pull-ups. You just apply it to everything. The only movement I can think that honestly I don't think there's a single movement. You even apply it to rowing, you apply it to rowing, running, even biking you apply it to because if you're rolled forward on a bike, it just puts more strain on your shoulder that you don't need to. And remember, your shoulders are just dangling there. It literally is just hanging, literally. Anywho, all right, guys. Hopefully you like this video, this stream. Maybe we'll do more. I just want to show you guys that fitness is not hard. It's just, you just got to find the joy in it. You got to find a purpose in it. And if you can find those things, the likelihood of you doing it gets greater. And the simpler you can make the task, whether it's doing a home gym, which I do not recommend for 99% of people. I do not recommend home gym. I recommend a box gym way more. I'm not talking about the cost of equipment. It's just I understand that it is 100% easier to sit on the couch or on the computer and play video games than it is to go in here in a cold garage and work out. I understand that. I 100% understand it. I fight with that problem already, but I'm an insane person. I am a psychopath. So I would consider people that have home gyms and they use their home gyms like me are outliers. We are the weird people out there. We're weird. You're the normal people. You're normal. I'm weird. I highly suggest not doing home gym, but if you feel like you can do a home gym, do something simple. Adjustable dumbbell stand. You can get them on Facebook Marketplace cheap. Some kettlebells, a bench press, pull down. You don't need a squat rack. You technically don't need a pull-up bar. If you can get a pull-up bar, do it. Keep it cheap because the likelihood of you keeping it is extremely low. And I don't want you to waste your money on something you don't need. I suggest a gym membership because you can cancel at any time. Hopefully, because I'm pretty sure Planet Fitness's business model is to make it so cheap people don't show up and don't cancel their subscriptions. But anywho, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. I'll probably stream some Arc Raiders tonight, maybe. We'll see. If not, I'll see you guys on the next one.